Hola, and welcome back to Resident Evil Zero, part of our Halloween Fest here on Laughing Cat Media's YouTube channel. Right now, I'm just after that very weird cutscene of a bunch of leeches turning into a man. Just preparing myself. I figure I'd drop some ink ribbon because now we have to explore this very weird and very creepy mansion. It's not the Spencer estate, but it's close by. At least I think it is. And relative to the game. At a certain point, you really can't. At a certain point, you really can't put any logic into these Resident Evil games. You know, if you figure like the Umbrella Company purchased these mansions to cover up any kind of experiments or weird things they were doing, but even the mansion itself, and logistics wise, it's kind of weird just by all the puzzles and such that we have to do. This is just a place for public people to or the public front, you know, having weird puzzles to get to the bathroom is not a good thing. And in terms as the layout, I mean, if you've played the original Resident Evil or even the remake at this point, this particular mansion is quite similar to it. Just picked up the black statue. We'll be using that later. And the reason why I gave a heads up in the earlier video for not really getting the hunting rifle unless you had to was because we just picked up a real shotgun, which holds 7 as opposed to 2. So pretty much at this point, the hunting rifle is it's useless at this point. It's that weight. I would dump it off in some, you know, weird room and just leave it be. Just making sure I got all my items and stuff, you know, put together. Billy just picked up a gas tank, which combined with the empty bottle that you can find laying around the house, we can create Molotov cocktails. Molotov cocktail, I mean, I think this is the first time in the series that it's actually been implemented. But for the most part, we really don't. I mean, there's one particular enemy that is that it's effective against. The Molotov cocktails it's effective against. But besides that, everyone else, it's, I mean, it'd be like tossing a grenade. And just like most exploration throughout these houses in Resident Evil, you kind of want to kill the zombies that you're frequently going to be going back and forth toward. You know, just like any other Resident Evil where you have to backtrack, and this game is known for backtracking and getting items and solving puzzles that you previously couldn't get to. You know, it's kind of helpful just to get rid of the zombies. I mean, if you can avoid them, you can avoid them. But you know, I definitely don't want to take the risk, especially in this game where Rebecca is just, she's just, Rebecca's Rebecca. Rebecca is the Tales of Resident Evil, if one would say so. We make our way around to the meeting room, and this room is a puzzle in its own. We're not really need to get toward that any second, but you know, that previous memo was just a registration for all the new trainees, talking about the training facility here, and items and notes like that you really shouldn't keep around. But like I previously said in an earlier video, Rebecca and Billy, they both have their own attributes or things. Yeah, you know, Rebecca or Becky, I don't know. She probably hates being called that, but she can combine herbs as in previous, even current Resident Evil games, as you know, they combine the herbs or whatnot. Insert any marijuana joke you want to. But Billy has the lighter. Now, Leon had the lighter, but he still can combine herbs and things like that. I don't understand why Billy can't combine herbs. One logical explanation, which kind of contradicts myself, but Billy should be able to do that. I mean, he's ex-military, and Leon was able to do it, and he was a cop. I just suspect that Claire learned it from her brother. But the game doesn't want us to do that, so you know, you want to combine herbs, you got to go through Rebecca. Actually, it's probably keeping Rebecca alive. I think that's the only reason why Billy actually volunteered to work with Rebecca. You know, knowing that the zombies and stuff were walking around, he needed somebody to throw in front of him. But my strategy as far as exploration throughout the game and such, you know, you play the game however you want it. Me personally, I just prefer to have Rebecca so that I'm in control, because she's very light on damage, and it's very easily for her to die. And once one of the players die, you know, that's the end of the game. But it's very, you know, it's just easier for me to maneuver and avoid zombies and things like that with Rebecca. Now, granted, Billy does take more, you know, he can take more damage, but Rebecca can do more, and she is kind of the main character-ish in the game. If you notice that,
I'll check it out.
That painting in the back, the painting shows what you have to do in this particular situation, but we can't do anything because Billy does not have any lighter fluid. I have no idea why he would pick that lighter up. Or even if he had it on him. You know, how would he know that he would need a lighter without any lighter fluid at that? Now, we need to do this, but in order to operate the crank, we need a crank handle. So we'll keep on the lookout for that. Geez, you're still alive. And just like every other Resident Evil game, we can not get into specific doors at the specific time. That's a big red door, so you know it's important. And I'm pretty sure we'll pick up a key or solve a puzzle that tells us we can get through that door. And since we're upstairs, we might as well explore some of these doors up here. Oh, actually, this is one of the rooms. Probably just a heads up. I probably should have just, you know, but with some of these rooms, you don't know if you need both people or two people. So, I mean, it's kind of like an oddball thing. But if you played this enough times like I did and pick up that memo, we know that A15 will be important later. Not sure when, but it'll be important later. And the big shiny thing that's saying, pick me up. You know, it's a crank handle, and we needed a crank handle. But what I was talking about was keeping a player in and out of a particular room is like right here. Not that it happens in this particular playthrough, but in my test playthrough, I Did all that as Billy, and I came out the other side of the room, but outside the room, Billy came by himself. And Rebecca was still stuck in there getting picked off by birds. But that didn't happen here, so I don't have to worry about it. But now that we have the crank handle, just making sure we're all set up here, because I'm probably gonna have to, the decision has already been made. Rebecca's gonna have to make her way through this new part. Given if one person has to use the crank for the other person to advance, throughout the game, then we kind of know ahead of time. So I'm just setting Rebecca up right now. And let's go do this. Let's go make our way. And granted, in this particular Resident Evil game, they have puzzles and events to where, they're gonna get separated, or they have to do, you have to leave a person behind in order for them to do a particular thing. As far as the game mechanic, I actually enjoyed it. It's a lot better than at this particular time they had Resident Evil Outbreak, which was a online Resident Evil game for the PS2. I'm not 100% sure if I'll do that playthrough or not. And I'm leaving, I'm just leaving Becky behind. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll do that playthrough or not. But the AI wasn't the smartest thing in the world. And not to say that this AI is any better, but